Next on the item, we'll call on our gallant leader, someone that we looked upon to, a mentor to so many young people, not only to the United Democratic Party, but to the nation at large, a charismatic leader, a leader who measures and people measure his statement and his doing, and he's on track and straightforward. That's no other person than the Lord Mayor, Honorable Talib Ahmed Bensouda, who is here to face the media and talk it up. Thank you, you're welcome, Mayor.
Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I'd like to commend the youth wing under the leadership of His Excellency Haji Sawane for organizing this press conference alongside Binzi Senghor. I would have liked to come here under the invitation under better circumstances. However, I have come here to speak in a very, very dark time in the history of the Gambia. That is after the comments, the insidious comments of President Barrow on the passing of His Excellency Ousainou Darboe. May Allah give him a very long life. May Allah make him witness the Gambia he has fought and sacrificed for all these years. And inshallah, Allah will do just that. First of all, I would like to say the biggest threat to national security is the President himself, Mr. Barrow. This is not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third, and I'm sure this is not the last time he will make such comments that will cause disharmony and disunity between our very own people. When the national dialogue was formed, I advised the party not to attend. I myself have not partaken in any of the exercises. The reason being, I have come to know the passing of Barrow. He is a leader who swore to protect Gambians, to unite Gambians, to preserve peace and stability. But since he became president, we have seen him do the opposite over and over and over again. During the presidential election 2021, he used tribal politics to divide our people, not thinking for once what will happen when those people go back into their neighborhoods. Our country is a mixed country. People live in intermarriages. Tribes live side by side in harmony for many generations, even before 1965. So to divide the people amongst heritage is one of the most irresponsible things a leader can do. Because if there's the stability, the same leader will have to preserve the peace. Secondly, this is the president who stood during the mayoral elections and told his supporters, you have the power, go and fight. They beat up many of our supporters. MLC, who was handcuffed in Majum Estate and electrocuted over and over again. Tear gas was thrown into one of our campaign cars. Many of our supporters were beaten and arrested. Some even handed to the police, and the police put them in cells. The same president came again in a rally at Karawan and spoke about the NARs and said UDP is a NAR party. And spoke to the passing of party leader and saying he has lost network. Terrible comments you can say to somebody who was a former vice president and foreign affairs minister of our country. I will ask and beg of something from our party leader. Please never respond. Never respond to President Barrow. You have your youths, you have your students. We will fight for you from now on. You have fought enough. I think many of the speakers have spoken of many of the problems. Just down the street here in Kololi, every week they will seize tons of cocaine. Every week we have murders. Every 5 o'clock in the morning, when you're going for Fajar prayers, you pass here, you will see lots of unemployed girls doing prostitution. Our youths are tired. They have lost hope. They are even running away, risking all their lives to get to Europe. Many die along the way. Many are captured and enslaved in Arab countries. Just last week, 150 youth lost their lives at sea. I did not hear a single comment from President Barrow. Now we have a drug that is destroying our community, a drug that is taken from the human bone. They exhume graves, take out bones of human beings and make this drug. Today, 1 in 5 youth in the Gambia are smoking this drug. It is killing many on a week-on-week basis. Many of these youths are turning into violent criminals. We have never had a word from President Barrow. Today, many of our people cannot get driver's license. There's no cash power meter, no identity cards. Gambia is a failed state. Not a word from President Barrow. And when President Barrow has the platform in Birkama to address some of these issues, to allay the anxiety of the people and the youth, he chooses to talk about the death of Ousainou Darboe. This is the most strange and dark thing I have ever heard in Gambia. Even in the darkest days, when people were disappeared, nobody ever heard people talking like this in political platforms. So for me, this is not politics. It's not a joke. This is about our country and our former vice president. I will not even refer to him as a party leader, because if we do, they will say it's UDP. This is a former vice president. And even in our culture, even if Ousainou Darboe was never a vice president, nor a minister, he's an elder person. In our culture, you respect your elders. He can be grandfather to some, great-grandfather to some, and can even be a father to the president. To talk ill of him time and time again, to insult him, ridicule him, belittle him, I think it is time for people to come together and tell Barrow it is enough. And I said this 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Every president has their time. Even a student leader has a time. When that time comes, you have to leave. And that's why I said 2 terms is even too much for President Barrow. This is an example that he cannot go for more than 2 terms. We should never allow it. It is unacceptable in the world, especially now in Africa. That's why we see all these coups d'etats. Barrow should not destroy our country. He continues to destroy this small country, the smallest country on mainland Africa. We demand that he comes out, withdraws his statement, apologizes to the passing of Ousainou Darboe, apologizes to his family. His family has been traumatized enough. They have tried to kill him many times. They have jailed him. He has seen death in the eye. But if it's not Allah's time, you will not leave this earth. When President Barrow, you cannot cause the death of Ousainou Darboe. I ask of all Gambians to come together, to put aside tribal politics, disunity, divisions. We see Macky Sall in Senegal. He said there will not be any elections. They burned the streets, the buildings for many months. He disunited the people. Where is Macky Sall today? They will destroy the country and then go to exile. And then we have to pick up the pieces. And I think for President Barrow, he must learn from his friend Macky Sall. Today, even on the radio, his ministers, his advisors, who were pushing him, arrest Ousmane Sonko, kill this person, kill that person. The same ministers today are blaming Macky Sall to what happened in Senegal. So President Barrow, your advisors, your ministers today will be the ones who will be blaming you tomorrow. They'll be the ones who will be laughing at you tomorrow. We have seen it with the former president. We have seen it with neighboring presidents. So do not let that fate befall you. Without further ado, I want all of us to continue to pray for our party leader. We all know he will live a very long life to see the country he has sacrificed so much for. Thank you. Wassalam.
Thank you very much, Lord Mayor, for those powerful statements. First, there are certain points we would like to set those ones straight and put before the media and everyone here present. That the youth wing of the United Democratic Party is giving Barrow 48 hours to apologize to our party leader, or else we will be on straight the next 2 days. That will be on Friday. Secondly, we are calling on the National Executive of United Democratic Party to withdraw from the national dialogue with immediate effect, because the disrespect is enough and is too much for the party leader. And also, we'll add our voice on the Lord Mayor's voice, stating to the party leader not to respond to the president. The party militants, including the youth wing, will take full responsibility of what had happened and will go with him tit for tit and will be there with him. Finally, the statement that we want to tell him finally is enough and is enough. Yes. Enough is enough. It's too much and it's enough. On that statement, we are calling on every Gambian to unite and say no to third term for President Barrow. This is a collective responsibility. This is not a responsibility for the party of United Democratic Party. All political parties, CSOs, private individuals, and whosoever who is living in the Gambia and abroad but call yourself a Gambian, we should all unite to fight against the third term for President Barrow. Going for third term, this country is in fire. Therefore, we call on the last speaker and the final speaker, who is no one but the President of the United Democratic Party Youth Wing, Honorable Haji Suwane, who will come on podium to give a stand and the point for the Youth Wing of the United Democratic Party. Thank you, Haji. You are highly welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, respectfully present here, and colleagues at the national executive level who wasted no time but to come and observe this most important occasion. I am deeply shocked, but nonetheless not surprised by the President's unpatriotic, irresponsible, undemocratic, and unconstitutional rhetoric he delivered while opening his bureau in Birikama, West Coast region on the 27th of July 2024. When I heard the remark, I asked myself so many questions. And the answers, some of them I have myself, but some will be left to the public to be the judge of yourself. When I heard he spoke of a death of an opponent, the first that comes to my mind, it is that one of a famous speaker, a famous and a popular speaker from Zimbabwe, when he always said that corruption is a vile disease. I definitely concluded that indeed corruption is not only a vile disease, but corruption is the mother, the father of all dictators this world has get birth to. We ask ourselves now, when a sitting president is calling an opposition leader, why that opposition leader did not do only thing but duties vested upon him or her to hold a sitting government accountable for transparent and accountable running of his government. While we expect an answer from the president, the sitting president, the public did not hear anything. I have to kill Ousainou Darboe. I have to see Ousainou Darboe being killed. I have to observe the burial of Ousainou Darboe to confirm his death before I relinquish power. Is this not a threat to national security? If not, I ask my question. What is more than a threat to national security than this? Fellow Gambians, residents of Gambia, this question is addressed to all of you to give Gambian people, that is including yourself, the answer towards 2026. I went through to the audio, which is almost 30 minutes or more. I listened to it keenly, if not more than 10 times. But I did not hear a single message a sitting president have addressed that is to a national interest, or one could say is a national interest agenda the president has delivered. And I will remind you, political gatherings are an opportunity accorded to politicians to emphasize or to repeat, or if not, to give citizens the new ideas and policies, programs they have for Gambian people, if they are in government or if they are already serving as leaders in the helm of affairs. Speakers has alluded to so many challenges the country is facing. That include recently the capsize of a boat that has already consumed more than 150 people. How many families are affected in that? Almost an entire family was perished in the waters of Mauritania. Where are they from? From where the president came from, that is URR, Upper River. Why did those family perish? Why did they choose to perish in the waters than to remain comfortably in their house, alive? Just to enjoy whatsoever thing one could enjoy when you are alive. The answer is, if you have seen somebody running away from his house, throwing himself or herself in the waters, you should know there's nothing chasing him but fire outbreak. That means that the Gambia currently, nothing is killing our youth, but the hardship can be interpreted as a fire outbreak that is trying to throw every Gambian in the Mediterranean Sea, which has been now a graveyard to our youth. If President Barrow can speak for almost 30 minutes without even showing solidarity, sympathy to those desperate youths who choose to die in the waters than to live in the Gambia under his leadership, this is concern as a youth leader. This is a nightmare as a politician. This is unfortunate as a citizen. That is why we are not just doing this press conference merely for talking, but we are giving President Barrow messages. When I had these remarks, the first thing I do, I have to send a message to His Excellency Ousainou Darboe not to utter a single word in response to President Barrow's irresponsible and whatsoever brain drain he has, not for him to respond to these kind of messages. But I also assure myself, without putting him to him, that we will take responsibility of whatsoever will happen. But this country must be liberated. This country must get its independence. Not independent because of just politics, but independent economically. We don't want to see anymore the youth of this country taking the irregular migration way, that is the famous pathway, to die in the waters because of why the government cannot create any meaningful employment to those youth. We will not see it anymore here. And we will stand and demand, as the speakers alluded to, the death contract that President Barrow has said he signed to see the death of Ousainou Darboe and to confirm while gracing his burial that Ousainou Darboe has died, for him to be able to relinquish power. We will want to see that death contract. And it is not merely we want to see it, but we will fight to see that death contract. Because why? He spoke with certainty. He spoke with confidence. He spoke with a belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to kill Ousainou Darboe before him. And I tell him he is lying. He has no contract with Allah. He did not see any contract. He has never seen Allah's wisdom. He has never seen Allah's message directly. The answer is, President Barrow has a contract to assassinate a citizen. A citizen that is always standing to hold a government accountable before President Barrow's born and then birth in this country. 1996 was the year United Democratic Party was formed. We all knew. For a head of state to stand in front of the public and lie to us, saying that whatever he did, what he did in this party, nobody has done it. Was he the founder of this party? I said no, it's a lie. He did not found United Democratic Party. UDP was found by decent Gambians. UDP was found by intellectuals, patriots who love their country. They came together in an environment while President Barrow, if you told him to come out that day, he is going to not only to faint, but he could even die. Because we saw the day Ousainou Darboe was arrested. President Barrow see himself under a table. If that man could tell me that he did something for this party which nobody could did, I have no answer. I have no other response but to call him a liar. I have no other respect that I can give to a head of state who is taxed and entrusted to uphold the principle of democracy, to guide a constitution that said that right to life is a fundamental human right. For you to come out and publicly order the killing of an opponent, I can call you that an unfortunate liar this country has ever get bathed. And my message to the IGP, I met them just last 2 weeks. We have a discussion. They were talking about immoralities. They were talking about uncultural utterances in our political discourse. The answer I gave him, you have a daunting task. Because you have a president whom you must dance to his tunes, who cannot control himself when delivering public speeches. If you want to control moralities in this country, if you want to discipline people in this country, you have to get prepared, because the first person to discipline or to guide or to term is President Barrow. But he vindicated me, thank God. He went to become. He did not deliver anything to national interest. Look at the insecurity, internal, that we face as a country. If you talk about ordinary citizens, people could say that police will tell you that you cannot protect them because they are killed at their homes. They are killed at their financial bureaus. They are killed on the streets where the police are not. But I'm referencing 3 innocent, hard-working, patriotic political officers were killed by an armed gun officer who no one knows up to date who the killer is. I repeat, who no one knows up to date who the killer is. So if you talk about internal security, and prior to that killing, President Barrow stood in an opening of a police station built by German government. He said, the security of this country is today guaranteed than any day else. He in fact said that it is the critics that are over-exaggerating these issues. But his government have done enough to secure each and every Gambian. The next week, he was told that, Mr. President, you got mistake. This country is insecure. In fact, we are telling them we're going to kill your police officers. And they killed them. How are those families going through today? What's supposed to be done as far as our government is concerned? These are the questions we should have asked ourselves. But if President Barrow or Mr. Adama Barrow could only stand and sign a death contract to kill Mr. Ousainou Darboe before he relinquishes power, I am calling on IEC. I am calling on IEC. Because when people tend to interpret things, they don't go critically. I go critically. I know why Adama Barrow is saying that. I know why he stood and promised and took out that he will never get or step down as the president. Because he said, he did not say that I will continue to contest. He said, I will not relinquish power. What is the contract signed with IEC? We want to know. What is the self-perpetuating contract signed with the IEC? We want to know. We already knew what transpired in 2021. But at the time, a lot of things were being said. And as our party leader first spoke before us, we couldn't do anything but to comply to his appeal. That is, he did not even want a chicken to die because of Ousainou Darboe's presidency. It was emotional, but a voter population of over 200,000 votes who voted for Ousainou Darboe, they all comply with discipline, with respect to His Excellency Ousainou Darboe. I'm telling Ousainou Darboe, move out from our politics. I did this press conference, never consulted him. And I will do my things, I will never consult him. I am elected duly by the youth of this party. And they have trust, I have a social contract to deliver. They have to see a government that is responsible. They have to see a government that is going to protect their votes. They have to see a government that is going to, a party that is going to defend what they have decided for. And I'm ready. And I'm ready. If I say I here, I mean we are ready as youths. Nobody will take the back seat. We will die, but we will see the votes of the United Democratic Party members being protected. The votes of Gambian people who doesn't believe in Adam Barrow's government will be protected. We will die for this country. If Solo Sandem could die, why not myself and others? If Solo Sandem could sacrifice his life, why not me? So we cannot continue to be lambasted in an environment that we believe we don't deserve because of a mayor president who doesn't even have a clue about what he has to do. He talked about the plot that Ousainou Darboe asked him to surrender because it was legally acquired. And I can tell you, Ousainou Darboe came with facts because he quoted the Constitution. Section 168 tells us that the president cannot directly or indirectly enrich himself on the detriment of the people. If he does, it has attracted nothing but an impeachment. That is why Binta Senghor alluded to the National Assembly. If they are responsible enough and they believe in Section 75 of the Constitution, they will definitely pass an impeachable motion to impeach or to start the process of impeaching the president. Even though we don't have the numbers, but trust, records, and integrity, ethics, and principles matters. Apart from that, the majority at the Parliament decides. But what is on us? It is to do the needful. If a president can close his eyes while declaring his assets in 2021, he says very clear, we saw it in the documents, he has 9 properties in his name. You go to the Electoral Act, Section 5. It tells you, if anybody have more than 1 plot, the states cannot give you a plot to live. But President Barrow did not only stop at 9 plots. He said his bank account has more than 200 million Gambian dollars. Yet still, the same president is wanting to steal, is wanting to butcher from the scarce resources of this poor nation. Why could you ask yourself, why do I vote? Why do you vote? What should we expect? Is it this? The answer is no. This is the president who stood here not long ago. He increased taxes. Today, a bottle of water that was 25 because of a so-called tax stamp has created nothing but a bottle of water to exceed to $30 or even 35. You call this a country? And that is why when Mayo says it's a failed state, don't think it's a political statement. It's already a failed state when Gambians don't want to stand and liberate their country from criminals like Adama Barrow. This is a country where national audit reports prove from each and every life or soul in this country that the president's office, State House, has consumed more than 669 Gambian dollars. When Mahdi Jawade stood to hold him accountable, he said, Mahdi is an inciter of violence. Who is an inciter of violence? When I say corruption, it's a vile disease. Corruption is a threat to national security. This is where it is. National audit report submitted their reports. The president only stated that that report is a mere opinion and it is biased. An institution that has been sponsored by citizens, taxpayers' money, to give us a clue, a direction on how our resources is managed by the state. If a president could stand and call that institution, describe it as a mere opinion, biasness in it, where do you think you are going? Fellow youth, the fear of Ousainou Darboe, it is not his age. The fear for Ousainou Darboe, I can tell you, Barrow spoke to marabouts. They told him that if you don't kill Ousainou Darboe before 2026, he's going to end your government. And if he ends your government, he's going to prosecute you. You are going to my too. And that is why I am telling Adam Barrow, if Ousainou Darboe dies, from here to 2026, we are going to hold you accountable. And it's better you dig your own graveyard, you bury yourself before Ousainou Darboe dies. I thank you all for giving me support.